Welcome to the Chamber Vibes Podcast with your host, Brittany Timmons, the Greater Guthrie Chamber of Commerce CEO and President. In this podcast, you will hear from local guests who will discuss topics such as leadership, small business, and our vibrant community. You'll also hear success stories and tips from amazing local businesses, dive into important news, meet community leaders, and find out how you can get involved in our community. From the Second Banana Media Studios in beautiful and historic downtown Guthrie, America, here is Brittany Timmons.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another episode of Chamber Vibes. Today, I have my friend Troy Jenkins, the current president of the Guthrie Noon Lions Club on. So how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you. Yourself?
Good. I'm doing well. Doing well. Yes. So this might be my last podcast of 23, which is crazy. We'll see. I think so, though. So you should feel special honor. No,
I feel full of privilege today.
There you go. Yes. Okay. So you're currently serving as the president of the Guthrie Noon Lions Club, which you and I were talking before we started recording here, that the Lions Club's been around for a minute here in Guthrie. So, yeah.
Yeah, the Lions Club in Guthrie, I believe, has been around since 1919.
Wow.
Lions in general have been around since 1917, so we were actually a very early club.
Yeah, right.
But 140 years of service to the community, so that's
amazing.
Pretty exciting.
Right, and there's never been a year that's lapsed that you know of. Like
there's
been members the whole time, right?
Yep.
And some of the members have been in for a long time.
Yeah.
Current members have been serving a long time.
I think we just had a 65-year membership pin, but I can't remember who that was for. But
that's
it was
okay.
recently.
I didn't ask you to do all that homework before, but no, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing. So let's just dive in and talk about Lions Club and what is the Lions Club, because we have several great civic organizations, which I hope to get a representative from all of them on the show, because we have so many new businesses, so many new families moving into the community, new chamber investors. I mean, there's ways that people can get plugged in, and this is one of those ways that they can do that, is by serving in a club like Lions Club. Yeah. So talk about what is Lions.
Okay, well, Lions started in 1917 as just a civic organization. A man named Melvin Jones is considered pretty much the founder. They started out a bunch of businessmen getting together to try to do good in the community. By the time they brought it to a national stage, they had their very first national convention in Texas in 1917, and he was from Illinois, and so Illinois became the first district. Okay. Texas was the second district since they hosted, but Oklahoma had the most representation there, so we became district 3.
Okay.
So
that's cool.
We've been in existence. We have we had 6 founders clubs in the state. I don't really recall what we are now, but Lions has grown over the years to be the world's largest service organization with about 1.4 million members in roughly 200 countries.
Wow.
We have been known the most for our eyesight and work with eyesight. In one of our really early conventions in 1925, a fairly unknown woman named Helen Keller came and spoke to us.
Right.
We were looking for a national service identity, and she asked us to be her Knights for the Blind.
Okay.
And so that became one of our key roles throughout the years. Yeah.
Right.
So eyesight, just about any community you go to, you'll see the drop boxes for used eyeglasses.
And how does that program work? So if somebody does drop off used glasses to that box, then what?
So any of the used glasses that come into any of these boxes, they get taken down to our state office. They'll have a sorting party where they'll go through them all, and everything that is still usable will go to a facility in Texas where they will rebrand them. A good portion of them actually get sent overseas because there are some restrictions on using used prescription eyeglasses here. Having said that, as part of a disaster relief initiative here in Oklahoma, about 10 years ago, we actually met with the State Board of Optometrists and got permission to use recycled eyeglasses for disaster relief. So if we have disaster relief and people lost their glasses in, say, a tornado or a fire or whatever the case may be, as long as we have a professional on site, we purchased a couple of what are called phocometers so we can do measurements on site and use prescription glasses. That's a program we still have not got up and running yet, but it is something we are working on for future disaster. So that's kind of one of the exciting
things. And
things.
the drop box here in Guthrie is where?
It is right in front of, in fact, it's just down
this
about
way.
a block.
Yes.
Yeah, right in front of Vision
Vision Source.
Vision Source, yes, thank you.
Yes, on the corner, which is an appropriate spot for it to be.
Absolutely.
Yes. So people can donate there, and then they get sent to the state.
Correct.
Very cool.
Another thing we do with eyesight at the local level is we work a lot with Hope House for this. We basically will do free eye exams and free glasses for people in need that don't have other resources to get them. So that's kind of our eyesight deal.
Yeah, that's cool. Because I serve on the Lions with Troy, but I did not, and I knew that the vision was a big focus and service of the Lions, but I didn't know that about Helen Keller. So that's super cool.
Knights of the Blind.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So what are some of the other things that Lions here in Guthrie has known to either have done in the past or currently doing?
Well, there's 3 levels of Lions. There's national or international, sort of state, and then local. So internationally, aside from the vision, we do a lot with service to children, service to youth. We do a lot with disaster relief. We do a lot with diabetes is another big cause. We partnered with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation a number of years ago to really attack measles since it's been making a comeback. On the state level here, we have 2 primary state projects. One is formerly the Oklahoma Lions Boys Ranch. It is now the Oklahoma Lions Meadows of Hope. And it is a foster care community in Perkins. Yep. And we've made some fantastic progress with that. Just in the last 15 years, we transitioned from a C-level group home for boys to this foster care community where we're able to keep sibling groups together. The idea was basically to make the first stop in a foster environment the last. One of the problems in foster care in Oklahoma and really everywhere else is the number of placements. What we found is a C-level group home where you had to be 13 to enter it is the average number of placements our boys had before they got to us was 15 placements before they got to us.
Wow.
Our record was 52. We were the 52nd placement for a young man. And so we made this transition about 15 years ago where we have right now 5 homes, I believe, and it's a volunteer family in each home that can have some of their own children as well, but they foster, they can adopt, and they're not forced to leave the place. It's set up a lot like Pepper's Ranch.
Yes.
We met with quite a bit when we were setting this up.
That's awesome.
So
I don't feel like we can have too many places like that.
No,
So we actually partner at the Chamber with Pepper's Ranch and Lions Meadows.
Yeah.
So.
And it's, Oklahoma has one of the largest populations in foster care per capita of any state in the country. So the other main state project we have is the Oklahoma Lions Eye Bank, which has been around since the 50s. And basically every cornea that is donated in this state runs through our eye bank and is used for different procedures all around. So again, going back to that service division.
Mm-hmm. So when someone joins the Lions Club and they pay dues, a portion of their dues is going to service projects like these, correct?
In a manner of
Plus
speaking.
there's fundraising that needs to be done.
Fundraising is primarily the way.
Okay.
So the dues themselves typically go towards just making sure as Lions we have the ability to have for our projects that we do, we have insurance and things, and dues cover things like
things
that.
to operate. I mean, it's a nonprofit.
Correct.
So I mean, the funds are used just to operate and sustain, and then you do fundraisers. So I know in the past, the Lions around Guthrie have been known for selling the fruit.
Yeah.
Yes, and so I know that the Lions isn't currently doing something like that. So what are some other fundraising efforts that the Lions are making right now?
It varies from community to community. I think we're trying to find sort of a new fundraising identity here. I'd like to see us find a project that we could do year after year, and I think we're looking for that right now. Mm-hmm. And in fact, our next meeting will be to discuss that and talk a little bit about what can we do to keep funding the programs we do. So the funds here in Guthrie, we've got some main projects we do locally. So we do scholarships for Guthrie high school students. We provide we have Students of the Month as well.
Yes.
We help out with United Way. We help out with Hope House. We've already talked about. We're chamber members.
Yes.
So there's a number of things we try to do here in the community, and I think we're always open to new ideas as well. Just this year, we've started trying some new things where, as an example, we came out and worked the brunch on Noble.
Yes.
So there's a lot of
Which
things
they
we
were
can
super
do.
grateful.
And that was a fantastic
Yes, those are great
fantastic
ways
event.
that the groups like Lions can give back to the community. And it just takes a couple hours of time, so.
So that's kind of the nice thing about an organization like this is we've got the flexibility to do what works locally, what's relevant in the community, and that kind of thing.
Right.
So.
And you've served, so obviously you're president right now of Guthrie Noon Lions, but talk a little bit about your story as far as when you got involved with Lions and your heart behind all of it and how long you've been with the organization.
So I joined the Lions in Stillwater in 2001. So I've been a Lion for 22 years now. They talk a lot, and this is any service organization, I think, when you truly become a Lion is when you first get that warm, fuzzy feeling from a project that really makes you feel like, hey, we're doing something important. For me, that started with the Boys Ranch, when it was the Boys Ranch. I lived not too far from there. I used to go mentor them. I helped out with a lot of projects. I used to take some of the boys to wrestling matches at OSU every year. And the director there, who's a fantastic guy that I've known for 20 years now, Brian Larison, he does a great job, and he and I have been friends. At one point, I even took 2 years off to run the Service Foundation here in the state, where that's the fundraising arm for the Lions of Oklahoma. And Brian and I did trips all around the state, like 2 or 3 day swings through the southeast, the southwest, the northwest.
And that's just giving your personal time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You have a full-time job.
Well, at this time I did not. This was actually, I worked for the foundation.
So you took time. Oh, got you.
I took over the executive director.
So you did this as your work, but still serving.
And then I came back to the real world. And, anyway.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so that was kind of what really got me involved. I was, and Stillwater was a very active club, and we did a number of fundraisers and service projects throughout the years, and I was very involved with all of them and really enjoyed it. But I think where I really got dug in was after the 2013 tornadoes. I had just become involved with disaster relief, which is also one of our main core services internationally, and I became the state chair of disaster relief in 2013 with the tornadoes. Typically, money that goes through our Lions Club's International Foundation is not generally earmarked for many things, but the more tornadoes were so devastating that they earmarked quite a bit of funds. So we applied initially for some emergency grants, which we can do as district governors in different areas. And before it was all done, we ended up with a major catastrophe grant. And we've spent about a week at Kearney, and then we went down to Moore for about 3 weeks. When we used to have a mobile health screening unit, we used it as a command center and got out in the community, helped out where we could. But ultimately, through our international foundation, we ended up with close to $750,000 here for long-term recovery, immediate needs and then long-term recovery. And it took about 5 years to spend all of that, but we did. We got really involved with a lot of projects with elementary schools in Moore that were destroyed. We did projects with both of them. We did a lot with the VOTEC out in the Canadian Valley VOTEC. We funded 2 of the safe rooms when they rebuilt the school. And there were other projects like planting trees in Moore. We did a group called Camp Noah that it's sort of a camp for victims of disasters that they'll go and set up in different areas to try to help kids cope. And, this was obviously a big one, especially with some of the things that happened with the elementary schools. There were a lot of kids who were pretty traumatized. I still remember going to Briarwood Elementary when they were in their temporary location. We funded their rebuilding of their music department through the funds that we caught from international. We spent about, $25,000, $30,000 to get them new instruments and come in, and I sat through on a class, and the teacher had been in her first year at Briarwood, and she mentioned that even now in this temporary location, they were in a large church, when the air conditioners would kick on, some of the kids would still duck and cover because it sounded like something was coming and hitting the school. And you realize how impactful some of these things are and the ways that we can help and get people back to normal. And that was just a fantastic feeling. So
Right. And then locally, talking about things like that you've done across the state, locally and just recently, earlier this spring, Lions Club helped victims of the Simpson Road fire. And so talk about the efforts and things that our club locally were able to do.
Yeah, so we, some of the response that we did here, we tried a couple things. We put together packages for folks that needed them. A lot of it was just immediate need items, and a lot of people don't think about that, but when something like that comes through, folks are looking for a place or a way to gather up their belongings while they're cleaning through their items. So it was cleaning supplies, it was toiletries, it was bins to put their items in, and we were able to go and pick up a bunch of that. And actually, I got to meet your daughter when we did that, because we staged it
Yes.
in the chamber.
Yes,
and
Aubrey helped
together
put
the
kits
packages,
together.
so that was pretty awesome.
Yep.
But, I think in the future we'll probably try some different things. If it's one of those things you hope you never have to serve for
Exactly.
disasters, but when they happen, I
Right,
think we'll be
but
a little
clubs
more
like ours,
prepared.
we're able to step up and help, and
Yeah.
and we got some funding from the state level, right, with Lions.
It was international.
International
This is also
level,
through
okay.
so when I mentioned that before, that's one of the things for our international foundation.
Okay.
When there's an event that affects at least 100 members in the community,
Right.
or 100 people in the community, that's where we can get that $10,000 emergency grant to help with immediate needs.
And that's what we received.
Yes.
Yeah, so is it something as you as president? I know obviously you're super in tune just because of your past working with the foundation and things like that, but is it something you just quickly apply for?
It actually has to be, so we've got different levels, district governor. We've got 3 districts in the state, and the district governor for our district, who is out of the Ponca City Club, she had to apply for it.
Okay. But it seemed like
No, I
they
take
turned
that
it
back,
around
'cause
really
that was
quickly.
before the year. So Derek McCubbin out of the Stillwater Club was district governor. Yes. So
Yes.
it usually goes pretty fast.
Yeah, because
You
it seemed
just
like,
have to-
it was within a matter of a couple of weeks after
Yeah.
the fire that, Lions was able to step up. So those are just some of the ways locally. And then, like you mentioned, the scholarships, the student of the week. One thing I love about being involved with Lions is you guys are really good about having different programs. And so you bring in other business owners, event coordinators, other nonprofits, things like that, to come in and speak to the club so that you can hear about ways that maybe Lions can partner with them, or maybe it's just a general, information lunch, where you learn something new, about somebody or their business or organization. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a good
about the
mix for
meetings.
sure.
Yes, absolutely. So if somebody wants to get involved with Lions, which we're needing new members, right?
We would
So
love to have some members. We're definitely
Yes.
we're definitely working toward that. And Brittany and I are working on membership.
Yes.
But yeah, just contact me.
yeah, we've got forms at the chamber office as well. But what does that look like if somebody's like, I'm clueless, but I want to get involved? Then what do they need to do and how much and things like that?
Well, we always meet the first and third Fridays. Right now we meet at the Pizza Hut in the back room. So if you want to come by and check us out, just come by at noon. And you can see what we're doing, what we're talking about. If you want to just call me, I think we're going to put our website and everything, our Facebook page up.
Yep.
You can
We do have a
reach out to
Facebook
us
page,
on
Guthrie Noon
Facebook.
Lions Club. You can follow us there.
Just reach out. There's another organization used to always say, if you want to be one, ask one. So we'll kind of adopt that as
There you
well.
go.
If you know anyone that's a Lion, ask them what they do. And I
Right.
think, that's the biggest thing. It's a fantastic organization. We definitely need a little revitalization here in Guthrie, which is happening with a lot of service
Yeah,
clubs. but-
and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, like I mentioned, there's a ton of new people here and new families and new businesses, and maybe they don't even know, how to get involved. And this is one of those ways that they can. And it's not super time consuming.
No.
I mean, an hour, so 2 hours a month, for meetings. And then obviously if we have some other
Service projects,
projects,
fundraisers.
then we usually do a sign up, and you can sign up and you don't have to attend everything.
Right.
Just do what you can. So
That's
what are
it.
the dues? I know,
Dues
I might have
are
put you on the spot with that.
$26 a quarter, so
Okay.
$104 a year.
There you go. And that keeps you an active Lions member and
Yes.
allows you to come to meetings, be listed, and all of that.
Yeah,
So,
and I believe, and there's a breakdown if a spouse,
Okay.
2 spouses join. I know there's a break for the second one. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. So, love to get some more husband-wife teams involved.
Yeah.
I'd love to see us do more family events as well. And so,
okay.
yeah, very
Yeah,
exciting.
it's a great organization. And like Troy said, it's been here a long time. Very important part of Guthrie. Need you. We need you to help serve and to be involved. So, and your business, lots of businesses join and then usually send a representative.
Usually, yeah. That's
so
a lot of the
that's-
banks and that kind of thing.
Right.
Yes.
So that's another way that our businesses can partner is by joining at the corporate level and then sending a representative
Yep, absolutely.
to Lions. So, well, thank you for your service, not only here locally, but also what you've done at the state level. And I can tell, I know just if, right when I met you off the bat, like how passionate you are about Lions and what Lions stands for and
Yep.
what all they do. And so thank you for your service.
Absolutely, and thank
to
you for
Lions
yours.
and look forward to the future of Lions.
Absolutely.
So, is there anything else you want to add that we might not have covered?
Nothing off the top of my head.
Just reach out.
Yeah,
if you have
reach out.
questions. And like Troy said, it costs you nothing to come to a meeting and just
Come check us out.
Yeah, come check out the club and see how you can get involved. So, and what about scholarships? We did talk about those. The high school students just need to get with their counselors, right, to get that
Yes.
information?
Correct. And I know we've got kind of an internal committee to go through and decide. I'm sure the counselors probably are the ones that really kind of lean us towards kids that are in need or deserving.
Yes, but that's available funding. So if you have a high school senior, definitely encourage them to apply. It's a great scholarship and given here locally.
There's also a state scholarship named after
Okay.
one of the 3 international presidents that came from Oklahoma. It's the Eugene Briggs Scholarship. It's run through the Oklahoma City Community Foundation, and it's pretty sizable, but it's a pretty tough selection process. So.
Yes. Well, still, we would encourage our Guthrie Blue
Reach
Jays
out.
to go after those available funds. So.
Absolutely.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you again for what you do. Look forward to the future of Lions. And again, get involved, ask questions, and see how you can serve the community, maybe through the Lions Club. So, all right, that's it. Thank you, Troy, for being my guest today.
Thank you for
and
having
we
me.
will catch everyone next time for Chamber Vibes. See you then.
Thanks for listening to the Chamber Vibes podcast from Second Banana Media Studios in beautiful downtown Guthrie, America. Be sure and check out a new episode every other Monday. And until then, remember to choose Guthrie.